What's up, what's up, what's up everybody? Man, it's your boy John Gabbana. I'm just making this video right here just to engage with my audience more. That's something that I haven't done, in these past few years. Really engage with my audience. Before we start, I want to pray because I just like cut the camera on and just I don't really know what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna just pray. Father God, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for allowing me to see another day. Lord, I just pray that you use me and speak through me. Give me the words to say. As my viewers watch me, Lord, thank you for being patient with me. You've been using me in mighty and glorious ways. So I'm just giving you thanks for everything that you're doing in my life, and how far you brought me from. Thank you for giving me new life and for breaking me out the dark. Just continue to be patient with me and work through me, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Man, my real name is John Robert Hill Jr. I became famous from Boonk game, and that was in 2017. 2018, I changed my name to John Gabbana. I actually have a documentary coming out called I Am John Gabbana. If you follow me on my Instagram, you may have seen the trailer. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, which a lot of people don't know. That's because I didn't become famous in Jacksonville. I grew up on Normandy, Old Middleburg. I'm a real Duval baby. I went to Wolfson. I graduated from Lee in 2014. I went to Ed White. I went to Eaglesview my freshman year. I moved around a lot. I went to Lakeshore Middle. I went to Wayman Academy. I went to the Potter House my 5th grade year. I played Lakeshore football, Pop Warner. I played Normandy baseball and football, Pop Warner. I played for Scott Park 1 year on the north side. I played for them when they was called Inner City. I'm a real Duval baby. But a lot of people, don't know I'm from Jax. Because like I said, I didn't get famous in Jacksonville. I actually got famous in Miami. And then I moved to California after me blowing up. I had, some guy named Miguel, he hit me up and was like, hey, Boonk, I see what you're doing your thing and all that. Well, I'd like to fly you out here to Cali and do business with you. So I took that trip, and then I never went back home. Just, and doing that, man, it's like, when I was coming up, I wasn't patient, and, impatience drove me to do a lot of messed up things. Well, make a lot of impatience caused me, drove me to make a lot of unwise decisions, because I was ready to jump on board with anything when anybody said something that sounded good to me. And man, and I'm saying that just, for those who's watching, really be patient. Be patient and have a plan. Know what you're doing. Know the backstory on what you're getting yourself into. I didn't have a plan coming up. So I lived in Jacksonville from birth all the way till I was 19. I got in a relationship when I was 18. That was actually like my first ever relationship at 18. So she's my baby mom now, but at 18, I was 18. She was 16. She went to Orange Park High School. Was it Orange Park? I think it was. I'm not sure, but I forgot what high school she went to. She was over there in Oakleaf High. only 5. You know, we dated for probably like a year or so, and then I got her pregnant. We actually planned to have a baby. She had a miscarriage. Then after that, like, our relationship went downhill. She broke up with me, and I was so sad that I didn't want to stay in Jacksonville no more. So at 20 years old, like right before I turned 20, I moved to Miami to go live with my mom. And after that, you know, I worked with my mom's husband. My mom, she got remarried after my stepdad died in 2014. She got remarried. Well, my stepdad died in 2014, and he was the father. He was a father to me, a real father to me. He raised me, you know. So then when he passed away, like, our family got messed up. She remarried my biological father. It didn't work out. Then she ended up remarrying another man, and she moved to Miami. I stayed in Jacksonville, and you know, I was trying to figure stuff out. I was really living with my uncle and my girlfriend. I was going back and forth. I tried to stay with my aunt, but that didn't work out. And I tried to live with a friend house, and I just always moved around. But right before I turned 20, my mom said I could live with her again. So I went to go stay with my mom. Then I worked. My mom's husband, he owns his own business, and he an installation at the Miami airport. So he gave me a job, and I'm working, but I'm like, you know, it was just something in me. I'm like, man, I shouldn't be working on 9 to 5, you know, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. People have to work, but it was just in me that I'm like, man, I know I'm better than this. And man, I don't know what came over me. It's just, you know, I see Fatboy SSE blowing up on Instagram. I'm like, man, this is my way out. If I do this, well, if I could do this, I see all this money he flashing, all these views. I'm like, man, this is my way out. So I start doing it, you know, and I just never knew how to capitalize off all that. But you know, I remember he always used to say, Fat Boy Gang. I tell this story a million times, and you know, sometimes I be tired of telling it, but it's like, it's just my story. So hey, but you know, he'd be like, Fat Boy Gang, whatever, and I'm like, oh, what, man, this Boonk Gang. That started blowing up or whatever. Then my mom got a hold of it, and then she kicked me out. But that's what I was saying, like, why people might not know that I'm from Jacksonville, because I didn't get famous in Jax. But that's the whole background story on that. You know, I moved from home to go live with my mom in Miami, and then I'm working with her husband, and she's like, then I'm like, man, I'm just better than this. And just, you know, just that time, I seen Fat Boy start blowing up on the internet, and I'm like, hey, if he could do it, then I could do it too. I was just so hungry for success from what all I've been through. And like I said, I got a documentary on my life, most of my life, because, you know, most people, they just see the stuff when I was, you know, famous or whatever. And even looking back on all that stuff, it's you know, it's crazy to even think that I've been through all that. You know, crazy as it looks to y'all, it looks just as crazy to me. And you know, that's why I really shied away from the internet, because when I actually came to realization on how I looked on the internet, boy, that opened up so many insecurities, and I deleted everything. I wanted to change everything. I was very disappointed in myself, because, you know, like, the clout really, you know, it really got to my head. When I got it, I didn't want to lose it, so I was chasing it, like, just, you know, trying to do everything in my power that I thought in my power where I couldn't lose it. But it's like, I haven't did anything for clout in years, And it's just, everywhere I go, people still recognize me. The internet had a big influence on me. I became famous because I did what Fatboy SSE did. I just did it in my own way. I started taking drugs because when I got flown out there to Cali, all these rappers and everything I was around, they was taking the drugs, so I was influenced to take drugs too. And I actually got addicted to them because at the time, I liked how it made me feel. Then in my music, I used to scream in my music, which I had my own way of making my music, but I tried to copy 6ix9ine and I started screaming. He blew up off screaming in music, so I'm like, hey, if he did it, then I could do it too. But I just looked stupid doing it. I tried to be like everybody else, and that messed me up. I didn't know who I was. I'm just now learning who I am, and it's all God. He's showing me who I am, and my character is built off the things that I've been through. So that's a blessing in disguise right there. And that's why I don't be on the internet and post as much right now. I just shun away from it to just to find out who I am. With that being said, on how much a negative influence that other people had on me, I want to be that much more positive to those who look up to me. There was times when I was in malls, kids used to be coming up to me like, oh man, watch, I can steal this, I can steal that. I was never down with that. Like people, I don't even think that people really realize that all them stealing videos is set up. Like, I wasn't out there really stealing stuff. The Popeyes chicken I stole, the donuts I gave back, but the watch, the dog, the lobster, the Uber, all that stuff is set up. There's no way that I could the shoes, all that stuff is set up. It's not real. And after I got in trouble the first time, Jimmy, who took me in his house when he found out I was when he found out I was homeless, because, like I said, when my mom got a hold of that Boonk gang stuff, she kicked me out. So I was on the street homeless, famous and homeless. But Jimmy, which my story with me and Jimmy, our background story is in my documentary, but he took me in and he like, man, Boonk, listen. He actually bonded me out of jail when I got arrested, and then he said the only way I could pay him back by going to court and handling my stuff. With him looking out for me, he like, man, Boonk, you don't have to mess up your record, mess up your life doing this stuff for real. Man, just stage all this stuff, start setting this stuff up. Ever since then, I've literally paid everybody to be in my video. Everybody's been paid to be in my video. As much as I look like an asshole doing all that stuff, they've all been paid to be a part of my video. And there was times where I ate other people's food. I introduced myself, I showed them my videos on the internet. I paid for the food and they just played the role. I was supposed to be playing a character, and I actually became that character. And that was the whole messed up part. I actually became Boonk Gang. It's only even God now that I'm even like able to open up and just talk to y'all. I have 1.1 million followers on Instagram. I have 213,000 followers on TikTok. My Twitter got 800 followers, but I got platforms that I've started over many times just because of how insecure I was. Me getting deleted took a part on my Instagram, but other than that, I just deleted myself. I didn't know who I was. I wasn't happy with myself. I was disappointed in myself. I was just trying to get rich. That was my goal. My goal was to be rich. Even in my music, I was just trying to blow up quick. I had DJ Tree Gotti writing music for me. He wrote Boonk Gang. I didn't write that. Haul ass. I didn't write that. Comments. I didn't write that. Young boy. I didn't write that. It's a lot of, it's not like it's hits or nothing, but I'm saying this because my mind was on such a quick come up that I was doing everything to just get money, just to get rich, but I'm gonna explain why. Growing up, I didn't have much. My mom, she did the best she could with 6 kids. My dad wasn't in my life. My stepfather, he raised me. But when he passed away, things got worse. So it went from 2 parents to 1. He died when I was 14. So my mom, she did the best she could with 6 kids. To raising 6 kids, moved from home. We moved a lot. We had to get our food from food drives. So my mom, if she didn't have enough money to put food in the house, we went to food drives where they donated food. We got bread, cookies, cakes, and stuff like that. We dumpster dive. We went behind Winn-Dixie, Publix, grocery stores like that, and got our food from the dumpster. We stole out of grocery stores. So my mom would walk around the grocery store. We would eat in the store. She would buy a little bit of food and, stuff food in her purse or under the grocery cart. And we'd go out the store, pack it up real quick, dip. My mom stopped buying clothes for me when I was 14. I wore my stepdad hand-me-downs. So I used to go to school wearing baggy clothes and big shoes. Kids laughed at me, picked on me. Gym class come, boy, I used to hit everybody locker looking for some shoes and taking them with me. It got to a point where I really started stealing my own clothes and shoes. After school, I go to stores like Kmart, Walmart, or Target, whatever. Steal new clothes, new shoes, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. I'll go around and just steal stuff. I used to be real good at that stuff because I needed clothes and shoes, boxes too. I got caught a couple times. We used to have to steal water from my neighbor when our lights would get cut off. Our water get cut off. Use the bathroom in bags. Me not having anything, me living that type of lifestyle. As a kid, boy, I was hungry. You feel me? I was just trying to get the bag. Then I got famous so quick. I didn't go through no training. I didn't have any standards, morals. I got it how I live as a kid. That's all I know. Just survival mode. That's all I know. Just survive. But God humbled me. He really humbled me. I didn't have no guidance. I didn't have proper education on how to, talk to people, how to engage with people. I was just stuck in survival mode. And that's why I carried myself the way I did, and that's why I seemed like an animal. I was always shut out. People don't know unless I tell you that I was abused in my household. My mom had a lot of anger issues, and she liked to beat on me, on all of us. But, she liked to beat on me the worst because I was the oldest. I am the oldest. So she held me accountable to a lot. And anytime I messed up, she'd be like, Boonk, you're the oldest. You're supposed to be setting an example. And she'll beat on me a lot. And, there was once upon a time where she stopped beating on us. And she bought a gun and said, this is going to be our punishment now. Driving in, would be driving all of us in the car. And my mom would be like, I kill all of us right now. I drive all of us off this bridge, off the road. And just as a kid, that was terrifying. I never really said I love my mom. I was scared of my mom. She put fear in my heart. But, I love her now. Now that I'm saved, I forgive her. I forgive my dad. Um, I start building a relationship with him. I bought him a new phone, just so I could talk to him, text him, communicate with him. Me and my mom, we don't have no communication, but she just texted my uncle the other day, like a week ago, and was like going through some stuff, and was like, tell the kids I'm sorry for being a bad mother, not as good a mother as I thought I was. But I don't know what my mom was like when she was raised. Her household was probably crazy. She have a white mom and a black dad. My grandmother's white, fully white. So, back in her day, that's probably tough. Interracial relationship, I don't know what she been through. My song, if you a fan of my old music, my song Mutton, I was like, B, you think I asked to be born in this world? No, I wasn't. That's because, I was abused. My mom, she always just say she regret her kids. I feel like my mom, she did what she had to do because, feed us and clothe us because, she didn't want to go to jail or this, because she always said she'll leave us. She'll leave us. She'll be better without us and all this. So, she just made me feel like I wasn't meant to be here. And, I carried all that, all that was in me, like, with me being famous, like, with me. That's why when I did get influenced with drugs, I was on it so heavy. I was already broken. You feel me? Like, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't prepared. I was asking for something that I wasn't ready for. And I tried to, you see, I believe I actually became Boonk Gang because I tried to use that to wash away my memory from how I grew up. I tried to use the drugs to wash away everything that I've been through. All that was living inside me, everything that I've been through. And I tried to use the fame, the drugs to wash away, but it just made it worse. When I came to my senses, after spending, thank God I didn't spend more than 2 months in jail, but them 2 months changed my life. My cellmate, he shared the gospel with me of Jesus, and he set a seed in me that I would never forget. Then that was around the time when I changed my name to John Gabbana. And it's funny, how I started using Gabbana. I always wanted to use my first name, John. I just never knew what to call myself. So I started going with Boonk. But then I felt like I messed the name Boonk up. So I wanted to go with John. Boonk I feel like it carries a negative name. So I'm like, well, thank God I didn't mess up my real name. I could use my real name. So I started going with John. And I was messing with this stripper. Her name was Versace. This was like 2018. And I thought it was so dope that she had, a designer name, like Gucci Mane, Kevin Gates. I looked up to Kevin Gates. Well, not really looked up to him, but I admired him, how he used Kevin, his name Kevin Gilliard. But, I was into all this stuff because, like, I really, planned for this, this life. So I looked up other celebrities and stuff like this, and I always tried to pick something off them and that, so I looked up. But I think Kevin got his name from Bill Gates. I'm not sure. But I was like, I think it's fine, how she got a designer name. I want a designer name. That's fine. So I just looked up all the designer names. And Gabbana fit with John. And I just started using John Gabbana. And even a lot of people, they don't, people still finding out about my new name. It'll all come together. God is doing this thing in my life. it's him now that I'm even able to open up, because I used to be like traumatized from the internet, mad at myself that I put myself out there in such a derogatory way and like such a negative way, and just mad at myself on the image I placed out there of me, knowing that I'm better than that. My mom didn't raise me like that, you know. My family didn't understand. I actually grew up in sports. When my stepdad was alive, my parents had me in sports. When he passed away, that's when everything went downhill. But, you know, I thought I was going to be a professional athlete growing up. I was that fine in football. I ran track, played baseball, but I used to be fine. Then, like, after my stepdad died, things started going downhill at 14. Then I started, man, I'm a rap. So I started trying to make music, but it was just so hard coming up. Nobody, you know, it was just so hard. I'm like, man, shoot, if I can get famous, then I could do my music. But when I got the fame, I'm like, I don't want to lose this. I didn't even know how to capitalize off of it. But I'm just like, I know I can't lose this. One day I'm gonna be rich. I'm not rich yet, but I will be. But my rich is gonna come differently. And that's just by sharing my mistakes, sharing my downfalls, sharing how I lost everything, moved back home, start working with my uncle, plastering pools, building pools, how I lost all my money, being famous, making unwise decisions, sleeping on friends' couches, not being able to provide for myself while being famous, just to gain everything back by the grace of God, by giving my life to Jesus, really being honest with y'all on who I am, showing y'all my true character, and, you know, showing y'all my skills and my talents, the person that God created, and not the person that the world created and the people outside of me created. Because before, that wasn't me. That was what my circumstances created. That was the person, my circumstances, and all the hate and the anger that I held in my heart. My mom, even when I started getting famous, my mom said, this is just a stage. This not gonna last. All that hate and anger, that wasn't what God created. But now just being open and honest, loving, that's what's gonna bring the riches. All this is good. This is good. I pray every day that God help me become the man that he created me to be, that he remove all wickedness out my heart, and that he build me up to be a righteous, truthful leader, where generations and generations down, people could look at me and say, if John Gabbana did it, you know, if God could do it for John Gabbana. But you got to make that decision. You got to want it. I wanted change. I wanted it. I didn't want to be that other person. I didn't want to do wrong. I didn't want to hurt nobody. I wanted to be better. You got to make that decision for yourself. If you could decide that you want change, that you want better, that you want God, it's going to happen. But you got to want it. So, man, will there be more of this? Most likely. I got to take my time. And that's what I've been doing this whole time, taking my time, because I'm still growing. I'm still growing. I've been through so much. I've held so much against myself, against the internet, against people, that, you know, I'm still growing out of it. And, but it's good. It's good. So thank y'all for watching. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. God bless y'all.